All right, so we are here back. I'm doing another session. This is going to be for 1.2, and we're going to use a little bit more of your textbook here today. Um, so I'll be sharing that part of what we're going to deal with. So let me go ahead and share with you. So hopefully this works. All right, and hopefully I'll be able to do a few other things with you guys. I'm used to using two screens, but right now I'm just using one screen. So we are going to be dealing with 1.2, okay, which actually is applications. So we're going to kind of go right back into this. First one is actually a fairly easy one. I'm going to just kind of go through the book with you. So this is your e-text. Okay, if I go backwards here, applications, this is the first little section of the e-text as you go through it, and you can read through it and all that kind of fun stuff. It just kind of represents a few things, but there are just a couple of these sections that we're going to make you do. One is solving number problems, okay? And in this case, we have a student has scores of 74, 78, and 70 on 3 music theory exams. What score is needed for the 4th exam for the student to earn an average grade of 80? So a couple things that hopefully you remember. Average, okay, that's a keyword. Okay, I'm trying to get an 80. How do I find an average of anything? Well, add up all your scores, divide by how many tests there are. Well, there are going to be 4 exams. Okay, so that means my variable is that 4th one. I want to know what that 4th one's got to be so I can make an 80. Okay, so if I add up all my scores, I add up to 74, 78, and 70, and whatever the 4th score is, I should be able to divide that by 4 and get an 80, hopefully. So here's how we deal with it. We're going to add 74, 78, 70 plus x, all divided by 4, is hopefully equals to 80. That'll help us figure out what we need to get for x. And this kind of shows how it all works. I can add those up. That's 222 plus x over 4. Now remember, and I'm going to see if this works. I do this in my other class. Okay, so if I want to get rid of this number here, this 4, I want to multiply by 4, remember? Multiply by 4. And that's what it says here. Okay, so that this one cancels out with this one and gives me 320 here. Subtract the 222 and get 98, which means that they need to get a oops, try to do that again. Right, they need to get a 98 on the test. So kind of up a creek, but not impossible to still get a B in the class. Okay, so that's one of the ones here. This one, it's a 5th exam, so it works. You can try this. Okay. Now, one of the things I do want you to be able to do is watch these videos, and I'm going to do one hopefully in a few minutes. You know what? We'll just do one here. Okay. I do want you to be able to watch these videos because he actually does a pretty good job in some of his videos. But I'm going to stop sharing this for a second. I go back here, and then I'm going to go back here. And let's see if I can get into my here. I know I'm not sharing yet, but I'm about to. I'm hoping. So let me get back out of here. Try this again. There we go. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share my camera again. And I need to redo my camera here. There we go. So we're going to share a camera. And before we get to that problem, let's say I want to find I want to find 3 consecutive integers, which are whole numbers, positive and negative, whose sum is 42. Okay, and you'll be able to find those, and you'll watch his little instance also, but these are important. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that the first integer is x. The second integer would be x. Okay, actually, let's make this a little trickier. Let's make this 3 even consecutive integers. Okay, so 3 even consecutive integers, which means evens are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, right? So first one x, we're going to make the second one x plus 2, and your third integer is going to be x plus 4. Because if you think of evens, 2, 4, 6, if this is x, this would be x plus 2, and this would be whatever 2 plus 4, which is 6. So we're going to take x plus 2 plus x plus 4, that's these guys here, and it's going to equal 42. Okay, so we're going to add those up. That's going to be 3x plus 6 is equal to 42. Subtract the 6. 3x is equal to 36, which means x is 12, which is remember, x is my first integer. So that's the first one. So the second one is add 2 after that, so that's 14, and then 16, and there are my 3 consecutive integers. Okay? Now, what gets a lot of people is if I want 3 odd consecutive, you would do x. That's the first. But if you think of odds, 5, 7, 9, don't they still skip 6? And so you're still adding 2. So your second one is still x plus 2, and your third one is going to be x plus 4 again. Okay, so it works the same. Odds and evens work the same. Okay, and the other type of question you might have is 3 consecutive integers, like 4, 5, 6, 3 consecutive. So you would do x plus 1, x plus 2 would give you 3 consecutive integers, sorry. Okay, so again, that is another type of question there. Okay, so I'm going to get out of that, and we're going to go back to him. Okay, and then you can actually watch this, and he will give you some more ideas with that. Along with this one's actually a pretty good one. And this one, if you follow him, you can also think about it's a little bigger number, but you can also work on your fraction work. Okay, all right, then we have geometric problems. Okay, and we got 2 here. The first one is, and a couple things here we want to touch base on with you too. Okay, it says a city ordinance requires a man to install a fence in the swimming pool. He wants the border of the pool to be uniformed with. Okay, that uniformed with. Trying to see if I can do something else with it. All right, that uniform width. What does that mean? Well, that means the same distance all the way around the pool. Okay, so that same uniform width is this x, and that x is going to go all the way around. If he has 154 fencing, find the width of the border. Okay, so we want to find that x. Okay, so let's kind of scroll down here. So here's the problem. Here's my pool, 16 by 20. I want the uniform width. Okay, which means we're going to talk about the pool. Okay, and the perimeter. Remember, perimeter of a rectangle is 2L plus 2W. Okay, now if you look here, it says if my perimeter is 154 feet, okay, we're going to take this. This gives you all the information here. However, I think I want to show it to you in a little bit different manner. So I'm going to go back to my other screen. Okay, we're going to go back to here. And so here's the same problem. Okay, so I can write better on this paper. So here, how are we going to deal with this? Well, we know this is each going to be x, and x. So if my perimeter is 154 feet, I need my length. Okay, here's the length. Well, how much is the length? How much is it from here all the way to here? Well, I know this much is 20, but I need the whole distance. Well, if we draw a line here and draw a line here, isn't that still 20 right here? But then I have x here and x here, right? So from here all the way to here is going to be 20 plus this x, which is 20 plus 2x. That's what the book is trying to show you. Same thing with the 16. If this is 16 here, wouldn't this be x and this be x? So from here to here would be 16 plus 2x. And that's where they got that number from in your book. So now we got to solve it. It means I got to distribute. 40 plus 4x plus 32 plus 4x. Combine like terms. Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and combine those. That's 72 plus 8x. We're going to subtract the 72, which is going to give me 82 is equal to 8x, which divided by 8 is going to be, they give you 10 1/4 feet is what the book gives you. Okay. Which if you use the calculator with it 10.25. I know we don't like decimals, but in this case, a measurement's not so bad. This would also be what, 41/4 feet. But usually in the dimensions, we do like the mixed fraction on the dimensions. Okay, so that's kind of what they were coming from when we're talking about what the book is saying. This is what this is all saying here. Okay, and I have another one I want to go through with you when I get a couple of them in the back of the book. Okay, and this one also is a pretty good video. All right, so investments. Okay, so the other one is going to be your investment. Okay, so it says Lori invested $10,000, part in the 9% and the rest in a 14%. He explains this in his video really well. If the amount income of these investments is $1,275, how much did she invest in a trade? Okay, so remember, and this is, I like this chart here, 9% means we're going to remember is 0.09 on your calculator or in your equation. 14% is 0.14. Remember, it just moves over 2 places. So you have to use the decimal version and not the percent version. So if we say that we'll give it a random number x, a variable of x, at 9%. So that would be 9% or 0.09 times x. And then the 14% would be 10,000 minus whatever the original investment is. Okay, so because the total investment is 10,000, so say I was 1,000 at 9%, that would give me 9,000 at 14%, but I don't know what the first amount is. So I would take the 10,000 minus whatever the first amount is. So the interest is going to come from 14%, 0.14 times 10,000 minus x. Okay, and that's where this equation comes from. Here's the 9% at x. 14% of 10,000 minus x is equal to $1,275. So we get this equation, which you can kind of follow the steps through. Distribute. And then notice, wait a minute. What did they do? How did I get from 0.09 and 0.14 to 9 and 14? Okay, so what they did at that point, okay, is what they did here is they multiplied everything by 100. And that's what it says right here, in case you didn't catch it. When you multiply this by 100, it becomes a whole number. This by 100 times a whole number. And I don't have to worry about the distribution. Okay, so they kind of step there. They eliminate the decimals, and make sure you are aware you see that. Some people don't catch that. I've had students before say how they get there from there. So I just want to make sure you're aware of that. Okay. And then you can follow the rest of the steps. And his video is actually a pretty good video, and this one works exactly the same way. Okay, now notice they get X here is at $2,500. Okay, now remember they want to know how much of each was invested. X represented the 9%. Remember, go back up here. The 9% was X. So then how do you figure out what the 14% is? You take the 10,000 minus what you got for the X. So 10,000 minus 2,500 means that the 14% had $7,500 put into it. Okay? So again, you can follow those. They're actually pretty good ideas. And this one also is a good video. I was watching it earlier. Okay, that's a good video, and this is a good video that can help you out also. Okay, all right. So we are not working too much with breakpoints. Okay, so we're not going to work with breakpoints. What they are is you set the two equations equal to each other and see where's the equal point. Okay, and then we're not going to be doing shared work, and we're not going to be doing mixture problems, and we're not going to be doing motion problems with you. So be thankful some of those are a pain. All right, so I did want to share a couple other problems. These are actually problems in the textbook. Okay, and in the e-text, they can give you the answers, which is nice. Okay, so I did want to touch base on two of them here, or one of them. I think I had or a couple. Excuse me, I had two. This one. Okay, just reminds you of your geometry. Remember that all three angles of a triangle have to add up to 180. They want to know what each of these angles would be. So you would add the x plus the x plus 30 plus the x plus 30 equals to 180, and then solve for x. When you solve for x, that's this angle, and then these two angles would be that angle plus 30. Okay, that's one of them I want to show you. This one with the trapezoid, area of a trapezoid, 1/2 times h times base 1 plus base 2. There is another version of that you can do. It is h times b1 plus b2 all divided by 2, which is also, these are going to be your b1, and this one is your b2. Okay, your d is your height, and you're trying to find that depth. So this one's going to be equal to 54. So all you have to do is put the two b's in, add them up, multiply both sides by 2, divide by a number, and you'll get your answer. Not too bad a problem. It looks kind of confusing, but it's not as bad as it looks. Okay, and then the other one I wanted to touch base with you is number 29. Okay, it's a kind of a cool little problem. It's a little bit different than the investment problems, but I'm going to kind of go through it. It says equal amounts are invested in 6%, 7%, 8% interest. And the total investment got them $2,037. Okay, so I'm going to do this on my other paper so you can see it. All right, so here's the problem. This is how much they invested in each. So what we're going to do is put them in decimal form. And since it's the same amount in each, it makes it a little bit different. I'm going to make the first amount x plus the 7% at x because they're exactly the same amounts, 8% of x, and it's going to equal this number here. Okay, like they did in their problem, we're going to get rid of the decimals. Since there are 2 decimal places in all of them, I'm going to multiply by 100, a 0 for each decimal place, which is going to give me 6x plus 7x plus 8x is equal to, put 2 zeros at the end for 100, is that much money. Okay, we're going to add this up. 15 and 6 is 21. Okay, and when I divide by 21, I am going to get, and just to make sure, let's see, we're going to go 2,03700 divided by 21. You get 9,700. Okay. Now, that is in one account. So to figure out the total investment, they had three accounts. So I got to go 9,700 times 3. Oops. So 9,700 times 3. So the total amount that they would have made was 29, or the total investment, excuse me, was $29,100. And they put 9,700 in each account, and they gained at the end of the year $2,037. Okay. All right. So that ends my 1.2, a little bit shorter. And again, his videos are good, probably better than mine. I don't know. I don't care as long as they help you. Okay. And again, I hope this helps for the week. You got these 2 assignments. They're not due right away because I know some of you might be struggling trying to get your e-text. So ASAP on the e-text, or the web assign, excuse me. Whether you get the 2 weeks for free and then buy it, or buy it at ASAP. But that is going to be your homework as we go. Okay. I hope this helps, and good luck.